A very good morning, children. Today, in your History Civics class, we will continue with the same lesson, the legislature, and in that, we will deal with the functions of the parliament. That is, in a parliamentary government, we will be dealing with the functions today, children. Last lecture, let us revise. In seconds, children, we talked about Rajya Sabha, its composition, the chairman or the presiding officer, that is your vice president, then the basic qualifications we had discussed about, that is member of the Rajya Sabha should be citizens of India, should be at least 30 years of age, should be a registered voter. Then term of Rajya Sabha, children, I told you, unlike Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha is a very permanent house. It can't be dissolved by the president. He can go for each member is elected for a period of 6 years. One third of its members retire after every 2 years, and members can be re-elected, children. So these were the important points. And yes, I remember 12 members are nominated by the president. They are the distinguished personalities of India, children, and they are nominated directly by the president. We have maximum strength of 250 members. Okay, so now we go for the functions of the parliament. Now first of all, we'll go for the law making functions of the parliament, children. The parliament can frame new laws or modify existing ones on any subject in the union or concurrent list. And in my last lectures, children, we have talked about the concurrent, the union list, the concurrent list, and the state list. So union list, we were talking about central government, defense, all those fields are taken up by the union list, that is the central government. Then the concurrent, both the union, it just are responsible, as well as state are responsible for this list, children. Then we had the state list, where police department, all these things came under the state list. State government was responsible to see about the state list, children, whatever was enlisted in those lists, the departments. So here the parliament can frame new laws or modify existing ones on any subject in the union or concurrent list. So it can make any changes, children, any laws. It can pass any law in the union list and the concurrent list. For example, defense, related to defense, railways, and all, children. Then second is, no money can be raised or spent by the government without the approval of the Lok Sabha. This is very important. No money can be raised or spent by the government. Government can't spend any money, children, without discussing it in the Lok Sabha. A money bill such as the annual budget can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. So this is the function of the government, law making function. A money bill has to be first of all introduced in the Lok Sabha for discussion. Then to make it they just discuss first of all and then make it a law. In some cases, the parliament can also pass laws on subjects under the state list. In some cases, it happens, children, the parliament has the that function to, it can pass law on subjects under the state list. State list, whatever subjects are which the state governments are responsible, the people of the state government, they are responsible to see. Sometimes it happens that the parliament also goes for passing the laws on those subjects. Only the parliament can introduce a bill to amend the constitution. Yes, so it is only the work of the parliament which can introduce a bill to amend the constitution. Amend means to change something, whatever is written in the constitution, the laws which are made for us, children, the rights and duties which are provided to us by our constitution, children. So in that book, amendments are made. If a law, for example, children, it happened in 90s, we had a new law related to dowry. The girl side, they had to give in the wedding, in their wedding, they had to provide with dowry system, children. Dowry, that is, they had to give money, even some materials too, like four wheelers, everything, household thing, fridge, cooler, AC, TV, and all. If the girls, the parents, they couldn't give, then the girls were, they were starting, people were just killing the girls, their daughter-in-law's children, and they were just setting fire to them. The girls were dying because they were just setting them ablaze in fire. So what happened? The government sat and they started discussing about, they just amended the constitution and they brought in a dowry act. A new law was passed that if the boys side, they are found guilty, they will be there itself, they will be caught hold of. All the parents, the father, the mother, the boy, and anybody else is there in the house, they will straight away, the police will caught hold of them, and they will by their collars, and they will drag them to the police station. So it happened that the girls side, they started taking advantage of this, and the girls, they just started putting fire to themselves. They were killing themselves, children, to just earn money for their parents to get married, their own sisters, younger sisters. If they had five sisters in a family, the elder sister, she used to get married, and then when she went to the in-laws house, she just anyhow wanted to kill herself and set fire for herself, and then she the case was lodged, and the boys' parents were caught hold of, and they had to pay ransoms, they had to pay money to just release themselves from the jail and all. So again the parliament sat and they started amending this very dowry act law, children, and they at least made it a little bit easier for the boys side too. Now, so the same thing the parliament does, children. One, first, it just can frame new laws, and it can just rectify or modify the existing one. Already the laws are made, so those laws, if they find it that the people, they are misusing those laws, or some people are gaining from it and they are earning money from it, so misusing it, so they start modifying it, rectifying it, they can amend those laws, children. Then a money bill can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. I'm revising it, children. And the parliament, in some cases, they pass law on subjects under the state list, which come under the state list, and it is the work of the parliament which introduces a bill to amend the constitution. Sometimes they go for changing some of the other laws, amending the laws. Now we have, after this, the next point we'll discuss is the budget. The budget, you have heard the budget, children, about when after a whole year, I think, when the new government comes to rule over or govern our country, children, at that time they go for bringing the budget, and that is the budget session. The budget, what is a budget? The budget is an estimate of the annual income and expenditure of the government of India. Whatever the government of India incoming, and whatever it is the expenditure, whatever it is giving to its citizen. Like when we pay our these income tax and all, children, our parents, they pay, we pay income tax and all, we save some money in our provident fund and all, that money, children, is taken by the government to use it for doing some welfare work for our country, children. Whatever you have, the government services and all, children, all those buses and all, government schools, those things are our property. It is not the government property, children, because we people are the taxpayer. We are paying the money to the government to provide us with those facilities. Understood? So the very important thing is we shouldn't destroy them, children. Public places, public toilets, then bus stands, public parks and all, they are all maintained by our money. Those income tax and all that we just go for paying, that money is taken by the government to use it in those facilities which it provides to us. So the estimate of the annual income and the expenditure of the government of India is the budget, children. What annually, what the year round they have done it, what they have taken, what they have got, and what they have done to use that money. They give us the report. The government presents the budget to the Lok Sabha every year. The budget has to be passed by the parliament. The Lok Sabha has the power to suggest a cut to the budget or even reject it altogether. So, for today, children, we'll do this much because we have the last very point, that is control over the executives. You have so many points under that very heading, children. So, you have to understand it properly. So, we have the government present the budget to the Lok Sabha every year. The budget has to be passed by the parliament has to be passed parliament has to pass the budget. The Lok Sabha has the power to suggest a cut to the budget or even reject it altogether. Sometimes it happens, children, if the budget is extending, so sometimes they cut down the budget. They never let the prices to rise. Sometimes after the budget, children, it is seen that the government suddenly announces that there will be a hike in the price of the petrol and all. So there sometimes Lok Sabha members, those who are the opposition party members, children, they just keep on creating havoc and chaos, and they debate and they want that all those price hikes, they should be lessened, and again we should be the citizen of India, the people, the Indians should gain everything from that very budget. So it can happen that the Lok Sabha can reject it also. So this much for today, children. Again, read it, revise it properly. If you have any queries, please do ask in the comment section of your Google Classroom, children. Next, tomorrow we'll go for the control over the executives. Thank you and have a nice day.